is Wayne Goodsill. Well, it looks like the last 2 days I've settled into the new time adjustment. Though this is on a Wednesday, this video is not to the prophets of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as my videos since the Abolished Book of Mormon video. I've been doing Wednesday videos directly for the prophets, and they've been responding, and they've been attempting to assassinate me. And it's their choice. As mortals, we have the choice to be good and do good, or to be bad and do bad. It's not God. Nobody should be throwing out the deity card to justify what they do in life. We get to choose. And so it's up to us to learn. And I know, as a Mormon, I myself, born and raised Mormon, I had to pull out. I had to choose. For the latter days, Mormons, in order to fulfill prophecy, have to choose. Don't pull the deity card and claim that you don't have to do anything, that it's already written and it'll all be taken care of, whether by the living prophet or by Jesus coming from outer space, whether you believe it's on a flying horse or on a pillar of light, to destroy the wicked and save you so that you get to live your normal, happy life. No. You've missed the whole point of Scripture. When it says in verse 24 of Matthew 24, there shall arise false Christs. That sort of puts the burden on you to learn what a Christ is and why there can be more than one. If you're going to believe that Jesus is the only Christ and he's literally real, guess what? You've chosen to be the very elect who's been deceived. And false prophets. Well, which church has prophets? Christianity doesn't have any prophets. Again, you choose whether or not you're going to study your scriptures and fulfill this prophecy. You're not subject to eternal law and you're doomed. No. You choose. Are you choosing to be deceived, or are you choosing not to be deceived? To know who a false prophet is, to know what a Christ is, and how to avoid the false ones. The hearts of men shall wax cold. You choose to fulfill that. It's not deity who's consigned you to doing that. You have to be taught to hate. You choose. And I know it's tough, because we were born in the Mormon church. We were born to hate. But you choose. the scripture. You choose whether or not to study. Starting in verse 15 of Deuteronomy 18, the character claiming to be Moses gives us a latter-day prophecy. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me. Unto him ye shall hearken. You choose whether you're going to hearken unto him. You choose whether or not you're going to even search for this man in the latter days. Did you know that he's Mormon? According to Joseph Smith, you choose whether you believe Joseph Smith or not. You choose. In the Joseph Smith history that's canonized, Joseph Smith refers to that specifically. The part where Moroni, which was actually Nephi, if you've been doing your research and finding out from the Joseph Smith papers that it was Nephi. Well, why then is it? I updated. Now, yes, I chose to update today. I could have passed it up, but it's not my choice as to the weirdness that's going on. But Joseph Smith referred to Deuteronomy, but said Acts was what was quoted specifically. Have you even bothered to study? Did you choose to find out what's different about Acts than Deuteronomy? You choose. You make the choice. If you choose not to, you have to live with the consequences. You get to choose, but you don't get to choose your consequences. Because in making your choices in life, you choose the consequences that come with them. So if you choose to hate, you're not going to like the consequences. If you choose to love, you're going to not like the consequences of those who choose to hate you for loving them. But at least you are at peace and can live with yourself. As much as your life is full of sorrow because of the wickedness of others who will not allow you to be free. So when I did the video on these two channels, letting you know about my new religious channel, that I'm not bashing the church, and yet there are those who chose from Mormonism to specifically go from these channels to that one so that they could put a thumbs down and show how much they hate. They chose. And after I did those videos, guess what? More chose to come to the religious channel to show how bigoted they are. You guys chose. And there are consequences. And you're not going to like the consequences. Because you've been deceived. Because have you been searching for the guy? The man like Moses, whom Joseph Smith tells us is Mormon. Have you been listening to him so that you won't be deceived, so that you won't die? That's the difference with Acts. is that there is destruction and death awaiting for those who don't listen to him. You choose to live or die. And he's calling out to you, come with me if you want to live. Yes, Terminator, it's real. He just doesn't look like Schwarzenegger. So in 103, section 103 of the Doctrine and Covenants, in verse 15, Joseph is talking to us, saying the redemption of Zion must needs come by power. Therefore, I will raise up unto my people. There's the Mormon, born and raised, mortal. Not some supernatural deity that you don't have to do anything, that you don't have to make choices for. No, you have to choose. You have to search for him. You have to listen to save your life. You get to choose. Are you choosing? Yes. Even if you choose not to choose, you've made a choice. And there will be consequences. And you will not like the consequences. You shall lead them like as Moses. And then it talks about in verse 17, you must needs be led out of bondage. Wait a minute. Are you looking for how you're in bondage to the church? Because why would we need a Moses? We've got a living prophet. We're not in bondage. You choose who to believe. You choose whether you remain in bondage or whether you follow this guy. But I've got some bad news for you. Mormons have made some bad choices, and there are some consequences that have already occurred. Remember, there's a story in the Book of Mormon about Captain Moroni, who's battling the Lamanites, and he's not getting supplies. And so he writes a letter to the government, give us supplies or I will come and give you the consequences of your failure to take care of your people in the field of battle. And he gets a letter back saying, thank God, help me. The kingmen have taken over the government and are trying a coup. And so the title of liberty is raised. And Captain Moroni goes back, saves the government, saves the Constitution. Joseph Smith, likewise, said that America was going to have the similar fate. I wonder who that Captain Moroni type person would be. It already happened. The Kingmen attempted a coup. Mormons chose to help the coup rather than choosing to follow Joseph Smith and save America and save the Constitution. Mormons chose, and they chose wrong. The infamous Mormon, the blatantly obvious one, has been arrested. Oh, consequences. He's got a sentencing hearing coming up. He pled guilty. He chose not to follow the prophecies of Joseph Smith. And so the Captain Moroni prophecy has come and gone, and Mormons failed. There were no elders of Israel going to the government to save it and the Constitution, because you didn't even listen for the man like Moses, who would be Mormon, who was warning you to save your life, because you chose not to listen to him. You chose, and people are dying. You chose not to listen to him when the biggest casualty event in American history has going on. It's been taking place. You chose not to listen to him, and instead you chose to be a part of the deaths and the casualties. Section 103 is also talking about an Exodus event. Come and gone, you missed it. Wow. More things that Mormons have failed to choose the right. Because you didn't look for, because you therefore didn't follow, the Exodus event has come and gone. You missed it. The waters of the Reed Sea opened, dry land appeared, and you failed. And the waters closed back up again. There are some other things which are supposed to happen, but again, it requires Mormons to choose the right, not choose the wrong. It's your choice, and you're choosing the wrong. It's your choice. Don't blame others. Don't pull the deity card. You're supposed to choose. There's a great and abominable church. You choose whether you're going to find it. Because again, are you going to choose to be deceived? Or are you going to choose to do your research and figure out what's going on? You've made your choices. You've chosen the wrong. We need to change that slogan, don't we? Instead of CTR, we need to make it CTW. Because that's the consequences that Mormons have chosen. And so, yes, you're going to be pissed at me for this video. Again, your choice. You choose whether to be pissed and offended. But you can't choose the consequences. And so, with all these failures, will there be a Zion millennium of peace? Nope. Because you chose, and those are the consequences. You don't get peace in this lifetime. There will be no peace for your children or your children's children, because you chose the wrong. You have failed to live up to your potential. You chose to fail. Now, yes, you are in bondage. but it can be done to pull out of bondage. But you have to go through a lot of persecution. There are Mormons who choose the wrong. And Mormons want me dead. The prophets want me dead because I chose the right. They chose the wrong. How much more of a tragedy do I have to experience? Oh, right. The entire destruction of my people.